I'd like to start this speech off with a story. When I was in elementary school, I used to hate cleaning my room, probably like a lot of you. I would let my stuff pile up so high that when I was finally told to clean it, it would be a monumental task that would take little 8-year-old me the entire day. It was, admittedly, really frustrating, until I discovered a trick to motivate myself. I would divide my room into sections, and each time I cleaned one of those sections, I would give myself 10 minutes to do whatever I wanted. Pretty soon, I started cleaning my room more and more often, all just to relish those 10 minutes of doing absolutely nothing. And dare I say it, it maybe even became just a little bit fun. I'm sure many of you have similar stories to mine, putting chocolate bars between the pages of a textbook, getting an allowance for doing chores, or even treating yourself to some TV time after a long essay. Well, I'm here to tell you that in this new decade, filled with technology and buzzwords, that concept has a name now. It's called gamification, and here is how it can turn your life around. Many sources define gamification as the addition of game elements to a non-game context, but I prefer to think of it in a different way. To me, gamification is, at its core, the addition of broken down tasks and plentiful rewards to motivate someone to do a task. I mean, wouldn't you be more willing to do your homework if you knew that you were going to get ice cream after every page? That's an oversimplification, of course, if only, right? But it does exemplify some of the basic principles of gamification. So let's go over the first one, broken down tasks. In a video game, you're not set into the world and told to immediately defeat the final boss. Why is this? Because you would feel overwhelmed at the sheer amount of work that would take, and you definitely wouldn't want to play the game. Instead, games break this daunting task of beating the game down into smaller tasks, like collect this item or defeat this mini-boss. Gamification works in a similar way. You take a big daunting task and you break it into smaller, less intimidating tasks. The reason why this works is because each time you complete one of those smaller tasks, your brain gets just a hint of satisfaction that lets you keep going to complete the bigger task. The second reason why video games are so addictive and why gamification works is the reward system. In a video game, as you play more, you unlock more money, which translates to more power, more status, more dopamine, more equipment, etc. Gamification works in a similar way. Again, each time you complete a task, you give yourself some money. Now, this money isn't real money, of course, but it could be anything you love to do. For example, did you remember to walk the dog today? Congratulations. You've earned yourself some money, or in this case, 10 minutes of TV time. I think we're starting to understand the basic principles that gamification is built on. But you might be sitting there and wondering, well, how can I apply this to the youth of today? Because after all, the theme of this event is the power of education and of knowledge. So sit with me, close your eyes, and picture this. Imagine a world in which kids wanted to learn. A crazy concept, I know, but just think about how that could change the world. There would be no more dreading getting up and going to school in the morning. There'd be no more complaints about this information is useless or when are we going to use this? Instead, kids would want to learn just for the sake of learning. Think about how that could change the world. There'd be scientific breakthroughs, brilliant innovations, charismatic leaders collaborating on global problems. It sounds like an unrealistic dream, I'll admit. But with gamification, I believe that we can make this world a reality. I mean, think about it. Kids already play a lot of video games, an average of 7 hours per week in 2019. So why not combine what they love with what they need? Programs using gamification incorporate this kind of learning into mundane classroom subjects, like foreign languages, history, math, science, coding, and pretty much anything else you can think of. And if you want an example of how successful this can be, take a look at Duolingo. Duolingo is a popular app that teaches its users foreign languages using gamification. Does anybody know how many active users Duolingo has? 300 million. That is over twice the population of Russia. For another example, take a look at iCivics. iCivics is a popular website that uses gamification to teach its users politics and civic responsibility, which are two subjects that are often overlooked in core classroom curriculums. And it was founded by the former Supreme Court Justice, Sandra Day O'Connor. Even Minecraft, the biggest best-selling video game of all time, has released an education edition with users in over 115 countries. Because this is the future of motivation and of learning. I'd like to take a moment and ask if there are any teachers, educators, administrators, the like in the audience today, which, of course, I'm sure there are. See you over there. For those of you, I would recommend implementing some of the things that I've talked about today. If you're about to assign a massive assignment, maybe break it down into some smaller ones over a longer period of time, and give your students little rewards at the end of each one. I guarantee that they will be feeling more motivated in no time. But even if you don't teach kids on the daily, you can still benefit from what I'm telling you today. The next time that you're confronted with a massive, overwhelming list of chores, try breaking some down and giving yourself a little bit of relaxing time at the end of each one. I guarantee that you will be feeling more motivated. Even though I just delivered a 10-minute speech with a lot of statistics and a lot of science, all I'm asking for is two simple things: broken down tasks and plentiful rewards. I'm not advocating for an entire overhaul of the educational system. It's just two simple things that you, yes, you in the audience right now, can implement into your lives to help future generations. So please, do your part and help me make learning fun again. Thank you for coming to my TEDx talk.